You can't go 1 second without hearing their bull crap. I was done for tonight. Started posting Cooper videos, and I came across this little story that came out on I don't know what news network it is, but I'll share the link so you guys can see it. And I told you this was gonna happen. It's gonna keep on happening. I told you they were saying that it's gonna mutate or whatever, but it ain't. Apparently, it's not mutating. Now there's a hybrid version of it. Correct? I mean, right? It's a mix between a virgin. Let me tell you, like y'all are about to hear some funny stuff. I'm about to play you a news story that is going to tell you, just like I did last night about the news story. I'm going to play you another news story, not as long. It's 2 minutes long. So now there's this new hybrid type um thing out. You know the title. I have to watch what I say. And they're talking about the WH, you know the rest organization and all other stuff. Please don't. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I might get a strike anyway because I'm uploading Cooper's work again, but I'm only uploading like 1984 Veritas because I know he owns that. So that's why I was uploading that. But this might get me in trouble too. But if it does get me in trouble, I'll just go ahead and tell you right now. I'm gonna just go to the Cooper Collection channel or the Milton William Bill Cooper channel. So because if I get another strike, I'll be going for a while off of this channel. But that's why I'm trying not to say anything. Too bad, especially since I'm about to introduce this, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pick this up or not. I don't think they will. But this was like 12 hours ago, and they had some guy speaking like a foreign guy, and then they had like a translator, an English translator, talking over him. Um, and you're not going to believe this. Now they're trying to rise even more fear and panic and talking about these new things. And I told you they were going to do this, that it was going to mutate. And the reason why they were going to give you the reason that they were going to give and I don't even know if this really was the reason why about why they started saying that children have to wear those things now. But it's always because it's always going to be because that this thing has gotten worse, or it has elevated, or it has mutated. And if you go watch Songbird, the full movie, again, you will be laughing, or not laughing because it's not. It is kind of funny. Well, no, I guess it's not funny. It would be comedical, or however you say it, if it wasn't so sad, and if it wasn't a blueprint or an outline of our future. In the beginning of Songbird, before I get to the news story, I'm about to play you guys. It's like 2 minutes, not that long. No, it's like a minute and 21 seconds. But at the beginning of the movie Songbird, right? There's a helicopter flying over, music playing, guy riding a bike and stuff like that. And there's a sign, a billboard sign that is telling these people about all the latest or the tallying up all the deaths from this thing. And guess what they called it, y'all? See, you know the rest, 23. They claim in the movie Songbird that it is mutated. And then they go, and then they basically have lockdowns, and then you have to have a wristband that says you're immune or something like that. And it's like a love story about some guy who's immune, and his girlfriend who's like living in the house. I was like walking in and out while I was watching the video because my friend's like a real video buff and he gets the latest ones. And I actually told him about Songbird. He didn't know anything about it. I just showed him the preview and he was like, "Get out of here!" And he went and got it. And then I was doing stuff and he went and got out. Get Out too, which was another movie that they're flashing in people's faces and showing you how they kind of control these Hollywood actors and stuff like that. Especially like black men and stuff. You can see, if you ask me, you can see it. It's not funny, but if you ask me, you can see it playing out on Kanye West and stuff. And that he's trapped and he need to get out dealing with them witches. Or I don't know if they're still together or not, but that's what that movie reminded me of. So then in Songbird, they go around and they're basically locked in their homes and they have to do all these things. And then the love story, the guy, his girl was in like some building. And then one of her friends like sneezed or something like that, and like was like people thought she was sick or whatever, so they brought in the like people with the hazmat, the people trying to, I don't know, get rid of everything, and they drug her down the stairs. And she went to her friend's door and tried to knock for her friend to let her in, which was the girl who was basically in love with the guy who's immune, trying to get to her or trying to do whatever it is. And She wouldn't open the door, and then the people grabbed her friend, took her down the thing, and then the guy come back and knock on her door. He's like, "We know you're in there." And then he says, "Stay safe, sane, and sanitized." That's one of the lines in the movie. And another one of the lines in the movie, you know how they're talking about all of this together? There's a program that has to deal with the HO. I think it's the HO. Is it them? I don't want to be wrong. And it's called Something Together. And the tagline in Songbird is about being together. Just like this whole hashtag together apart. Can you believe how blatantly they are doing these things and how people can honestly not see what is going on and honestly believe this is about their HEALTH and SAFETY. Listen to this new story that just dropped on whatever network. I'll put it in the description box about the new hybrid variants of this thing. One from UK, and I forgot where the other one's from, but you're going to hear it right now. Listen again to the propaganda, to the bullcrap, and to exactly what I told you. They said that was the only reason they could change things. Say it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think it's kind of funny that you see even before Memorial Day weekend, you see the police presence building up. What if things get so out of control that they need them to make sure everybody is doing the right thing? So basically force. I got a question for you people who think that we're in the wrong for educating you on laws and educating you about the truth in the world. When they finally, and when everything else fails, because somebody said they succeeded with the jabs, but they didn't really succeed here because a lot of people are not getting it. A lot of people are sheeple. They would rather wear their thing all day until the piece of paper on the wall tells them they don't have to wear it anymore. Because to them, that's a law, a piece of construction paper on the wall in front of the thing that says recommendation, even though now it clearly says recommendation. But I thought it was funny that I went to the store today. Before I get to the store, I'm about to get to it real quick. He said it is against the law to sell tobacco products, because it was like right in front of the screen when I was there, to people with the mask on. It's illegal if you don't ID them. You have to, this is what this piece of paper says anyway. It was at Murphy's USA gas station. And it said it is the law, or it is, there is a law that says, and I don't know if this law is true, but I just think it's funny now that it's reversing on them. It said that there is a law that you have to ID somebody who has a face mask on. So I guess you can only tell who they are by their eyes or something, you know. Oh yeah, but I have a question for all you people. Back to my question for all you people who think that we're doing something wrong from educating you. Are you going to, when all of this fails and they actually just come out and say, freak it, we have to force people to do this stuff now because of their own SAFETY, are you still going to go along with it then? Now that they're creating and making up new stuff and trying to make everything worse, the people that you trust and you believe in the most are sitting here lying to you the most. But instead of calling them out, you want to call people like us out who are telling your little simple, okay, let me calm down, telling you the truth. So that's the one question I want to ring in your head whenever they come through the streets and say, oh, we have to do this for your protection. And then they pull your kids and everybody else out of your house and make them strip down or whatever they're going to do to them. I want to know then, will you still be saying, oh yeah, this is okay. This is all right to violate our rights. This is all right to do so and so and so. I want you to, I'm going to say this one more time, a third time. I want to really let it seep in, because if the majority of people are acting like you, this is going to happen. Are you going to say, okay, then when they kick down the door and pull out everybody in your family and all that stuff, and there's nothing you can do about it because you wanted to be a good little American citizen, but you were so totally uninformed that you led yourself and your family to the slaughterhouse? Now listen to this bullcrap story.
Authorities in Vietnam have detected a new coronavirus variant that is a combination of the Indian and UK COVID-19 variants. The country's health minister says it spreads quickly by air and has described the hybrid variant as very dangerous. After successfully containing the virus for most of last year, Vietnam is grappling with a spike in infections since late April. Quoted in local media, the minister says the authorities will announce the name and detailed characteristics of the newly discovered variant soon, saying lab cultures show it is much more transmissible than the previously known types. He said that could explain why so many new cases have appeared in different parts of the country within a short period of time.
Or it could be because they're trying to rise this mass panic and so, lady.
The World Health Organization has identified 4 variants of COVID-19 of global concern. These include variants that emerged first in India, in Britain.
You see how they're globalizing it again? It's all about the globe and us all being together and keeping everybody in the entire world safe, but it's a bunch of...
South Africa and in Brazil. Officials at the WHO did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Now, who did she just say? The main culprits in all of this, and been in all of this, the main culprits.
Regarding the new variant identified in Vietnam.
Okay, now, I'm going to take this time to give, again, remember I did that religious hypocrites? I'm not going to be long with this one. It's just always, like I said, when something's on my mind, I gotta let you guys hear the ridiculousness of it. And so other people can hear it too, because I'm trying to tell you, they're going warp speed on putting all of this bullcrap stories out. These are the main subjects that they're going to keep on covering over and over and over. They're even bringing up old shootings from 2 years ago and putting them at the top of YouTube feeds. The main things that you're going to continuously hear about from here on out, from after you get done listening to this, whatever you want to call this thing, I call them my takes, but these again, I'm gonna remind you again what they're going to keep on every hour. They're going to come out with a story about this from every other different news network. It's going to be about mass, SHOOTINGS. It's going to be about the CV thing. It's going to be about the UFOs. It's going to be about the race. It's going to be about the sex. It's going to be, those are the 5 main categories. I might have missed something. Hold on, let me backtrack. Jabs, 6. Mass, they're still going to push. 7. And I can't remember all of these and say them back, but I just want to make sure that I'm not trying to use one twice. And I have one more thing to tell you that is very, very interesting for you people who claim to read your Bibles. It's about the media, actually. It involves the media. Those are let me see if there's another story that I don't think they're pushing the main ones, though, in my opinion, are going to be what this take is about now. Is going to be the main one they're going to push. And it's probably going to be 8 different other ones jumping out of the woodwork. And that's their excuse and their reason for why they can take away people's rights and do whatever they want to do and put a needle in anybody's, anytime they want. And then the sheeple lovers, again, the Fox, CNN, Forbes, breaking news, all of them, they're going to love it. They're going to think that they're going to defend it just like they're defending people violating people's rights in America because they think somebody is supposed to keep them safe, even though most of them are all about themselves. They don't care about anybody but themselves. But now that it's trending again, now that this whole save everybody is trending, now they want to jump on board. But they're hypocrites because as soon as they take off that thing, they're right back to, it's all about me. It's all about what I got to get in life. It's all about my children and my so. It don't have anything to do about you or your SAFETY then. It's all a show with these people. Well, some of them are they're really that dumb and convinced by all of this stupid, all of these silly news stories that I can't believe anybody can actually sit there and listen to and believe. But again, we're talking about sheeple here. I'm going to tell you something about your beloved media. For those of you who claim to be Christian, the lies that I don't plan are like some of the best. You guys got to hear this. First of all, I shared last video so you guys could all see what because there are new people here that will ask questions and they don't know what the lives are about and they don't understand what watching me going into establishments and teaching them the law and teaching them about freedom and stuff in America. but I explained that and why this is called the Bill Cooper channel. And another reason why I do this stuff is because I want to keep you guys, I want to keep his words up to date and the things that he was saying up to date and stuff. And show you that there's another person out here in this world, or somebody that out here that's like you and is seeing all this bull crap and is going through what you're going through and suffering because of the ignorant people that surround you. So that you know that you're not alone. And I wasn't planning on doing this live, but then I saw a movie from, a news oil first. You'll see me sharing a lot of alien stuff now because of how they're trying to push it all hard and stuff. I'm going to go to the main subject of this like I always do. But I even saw 3 days ago, CNN, it says, Barack Obama says something interesting about aliens or UFOs or something like that. So you'll see me share screenshots of videos like that just so I can keep up with, so I can let you know that somebody's keeping track of their bull crap, because it's all going to add up. That's why I do that. So there might be some things here that you don't understand how they relate to Cooper, but everything here does relate to Cooper. Me going into stores and teaching people that there is difference between law and policy, that's teaching freedom. That has to do with Cooper. Me coming here on the live and telling you, bringing up everything up to date and everything that he was talking about, that has to do, or, bringing up, letting you know that he was called out a lot of this stuff going on now, back then. So I'm bringing it back up to date. That has to do with Cooper. And this has to do with Cooper too. And another thing that people don't know that he exposed was these things right here that I'm about to show you. I'm about to let you listen to a news story. It was so ridiculous. I had to record it from my laptop. And then I, from my phone, and now I'm about to let you hear, an incentive or whatever you call it, is something defined as something that motivates and encourages one to do something, right? But and then they talk about the SAFETY of all of this stuff. But there was a CAGI member from the Hour at a Time named Alex. I can't really remember how to pronounce his last name, but he did something on the germ theory, and he did something on VA. The rest. The main topic of this subject now, and how everything you're being told is, what I'm going to say, but I probably shouldn't say it. So now let me hear, you guys know Governor Gavin Newsom. I want you to listen to this news story put out on ABC in the ridiculousness of how they're selling this thing. Check this out.
Today, California Governor Gavin Newsom announced major new incentives.
Sorry, let me go back. Yes, germ theory was a FRAUD, and that's what he exposed on there. So, but sorry, I'm not going to stop again. I'm going to go. Okay, I lied. I'm going to put that in the description box too after this. And I'm going to put a link to this silly behind ridiculous news story from ABC News.
Today, California Governor Gavin Newsom announced major new incentives for California residents to take the COVID-19 vaccine, with more than $100 million in rewards planned in the coming weeks, including a $15 million grand prize next month to be split between 10 lucky vaccinated California residents. It's just the latest in a series of incentives offered by states and by businesses to try to spur Americans still on the sidelines to take the vaccine. But why are these kinds of incentives necessary, and are they effective? Bob Woodruff takes a look in this week's Vaccine Watch.
As of this week, more than half of all adults in this country are now fully vaccinated.
This is a major milestone in our country's vaccination efforts.
And while outside the U.S., many countries are clamoring for vaccine doses, here at home, tens of millions of doses nationwide are still in storage, available for states to request. States are still desperate to coax those who have not yet signed up.
I think that there are people who really value vaccinations. They see the benefit of it. They just don't want to take off work. Or they do need something that's going to make it worth their time.
62% of adults have been administered at least one dose of vaccine, but hesitancy is still common in the U.S. And some say that if they didn't have to get vaccinated...
Forget that. I am going to stop. It's so they know that it can save them or whatever, and it's so this, that, and the third, but they don't want to take off of work. What kind of dumb excuse was that? But they don't want to take off of work, so now we're going to offer this to make it worth their time. Nobody has one day to take out of work if they know that something is really going to, you know, get out of here, lady.
Vaccinated, they wouldn't. I will be getting... Have to get vaccinated, they wouldn't.
Let me go back, because I told...
If they didn't have to get... Still common in the U.S. And some say that if they didn't have to get vaccinated, they wouldn't. I will be getting vaccinated just because I'm a college student.
And I'm sorry I had to stop there too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stop through this whole thing because if not, I'm about to play it back and then stop. What kind of education system do we live in where she says that she's going to do that because she's a college, just because she is a college student? What kind of sense does that make?
If we'll be getting vaccinated just because I'm a college student, if it wasn't mandated, I don't think I'd get vaccinated.
If it wasn't mandated, I don't think I... What is this? And she's in college?
So now some states are turning to incentive programs, adding financial or material bonuses for any person that chooses to get vaccinated. For people who've been on the fence and just not taking the initiative to make it happen, it might... Let's see, like at least try something. Ohio was...
Let's see, at least try something, even though it is they're telling people that this is a trial. They don't have these things for all these other diseases they should have had a long time ago to work, but you want to take one that they can whip up with less than...
Let's see, like at least try something. Ohio was the first state to announce a vaccine lottery. So we just kind of...
A vaccine lottery.
Scratched our heads to announce a vaccine lottery. So we just kind of scratched our heads, think, what can we do to increase the uptake? It's Vax-A-Million contest offered $1 million.
Vax-A-Million contest. I'm so sorry.
The uptake. It's Vax-A-Million contest offered $1 million prize each week for 5 weeks to vaccinated adults who sign up, and a free ride to state colleges in Ohio to teen winners. It's really going better than I could have even ever imagined. A 45% increase in the number of people getting vaccinated. 22-year-old Abigail Baginski winning the first $1 million prize.
It absolutely has not processed yet. I am still digesting it, and I like to say that it feels like this is happening to a different person. I cannot believe it.
Several other states getting in on the lotto fever. Oregon, Washington, and Colorado among them, following Ohio and offering $1 million prizes. Maryland holding $40,000 lotto drawings for 40 days. Get your shot for a shot to win. Businesses and sports teams also getting creative.
Get your shot for a shot to win.
Shot to win. Businesses and sports teams also getting creative to coax Americans to take the shot. The Yankees, Mets, and Braves among teams offering free ticket prizes for shots. United Airlines offering the chance to win free flights for a year. And Krispy Kreme giving out a free glazed donut if you show your vaccine card.
Even Krispy Kreme!
Small free glazed donut if you show your vaccine card. Even small incentives seem to be working.
I'm here for multiple reasons. One, I got my vaccine. Two, I enjoy marijuana for me.
And while it may seem unseemly that rewards are needed for taking a potentially life-saving vaccine,
a potentially life-saving.
Experts say there is real science. Life-saving vaccine. Experts say there is real science behind these efforts.
We have a group of people who said under no circumstances will they get vaccinated, but a bigger group that's open to it and hasn't quite gotten comfortable with the idea yet, or saying they're going to wait and see, or hasn't found a convenient time. We call them the movable middle.
For decades, researchers have been studying the science of human behavior.
We know that lotteries are generally really motivating because...
Did you hear how he just told them what they do? Studying human behavior.
We know that lotteries have been studying
movable middle.
For decades, researchers have been studying the science of human behavior.
We know that lotteries are generally really motivating because that big prize.
Studying human behavior and putting all of this stuff on the news, they are able to do that and trick these people because that's exactly what they do. They study human behavior so they know reactions to whatever. Of course, they miscalculated this mass hysteria reaction because I guess they didn't put in enough work before they tried to pull it. But that's exactly what they do, is they study human behavior, and that's why that's how they know how to make you smile, how to make you laugh, how to make you cry about any situation, about Floyd and about all this stuff that don't have anything to do with really what's going on, or that they claim is going on, and why they're showing you all of this stuff.
Studying the science of human behavior.
We know that lotteries are generally really motivating because that big prize looms large and people get very, very excited about the potential to become a millionaire. And so they overweight the probability that they're likely to win.
Lotteries, cash rewards, free stuff, all these incentives can really work as long as the prize feels worthwhile.
There was some concern based on past research that if we offer really small incentives to people, like a $5 incentive, for instance, it might actually dissuade people from getting a vaccine. So some early research suggests that larger cash rewards don't have that problem.
And experts say an incentive can be more effective than negative reinforcement. A carrot is stronger than a stick.
So if my doctor tells
a carrot is stronger than a stick.
So if my doctor tells me
Stacey is stronger than a stick. Negative reinforcement. A carrot is stronger than a stick.
So if my doctor tells me, Stacey, you must exercise this year, part of me knows that's absolutely true. But when I hear that must, there's some part of me that feels like, hey, you're not the boss.
And now they're trying to make her seem so human-like. And when they say you must do something, they're trying to make it seem like they're not trying to force people to do something. And her and those other ladies and those other people who talk are completely brainwashed people, sheeple.
Part of me that feels like, hey, you're not the boss.
And while it may seem some Americans are taking easy access to vaccines for granted, social scientists say efforts to coax those still on the sidelines are for the greater good of public health.
If you look at flu rates of vaccination, I think they're around 50% in the U.S. And so I think that we've vaccinated a lot of people who are used to being vaccinated with something else, and now we're going to be moving into a population that's just a little harder to win over.
With Ohio's success story, experts say these new incentives could be reaching the movable middle.
So it's going to take perseverance, and it's going to take creativity, and yes, it's going to take donuts.
This is Bob Woodruff tracking the vaccine.
Listen to the last closing line.
This is Bob Woodruff tracking the vaccine.
Now, I don't have much to say about this because that was just ridiculous, and I know that you all heard the ridiculousness in that. So all I'm going to do, instead of just running my mouth for the rest of this time, because I didn't plan on doing this, I'm going to put the link of Cooper exposing the jab, and then I'm going to put the link of the other or on the hour at a time and exposing the germ theory, and then I'm going to put the ridiculous link to this ridiculous news story, because if you think it was ridiculous just listening to it, you got to see how ridiculous it is when you're listening to it and watching it at the same time. America, America, this is you. The funny things you do.